Hello? Hello, 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 hi, hi, hello, 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 ah, hello, hello, it is I, oh. The not so brightest star in the sky. Welcome, 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 welcome. Wah! I've been doing so many hand cams. I should probably not do that. But it's okay. Hello, hello, hello for everybody in chat. Today we are going to be holding me accountable for the work I have been putting off for the past few weeks. I don't think I have any. I do have some on me. I just need to be held accountable for making the things and doing the things that I put off for about a month or so because I got so caught up with life. But today we are going to be grading rings that I designed and had made and sent over to me from overseas. Yes, these guys. My hands are a little gross right now, forgive me. I don't have anything else better to show it to you guys on. My little rings, the little Final Fantasy 14 overall rings. I really wish I had a better way to show you guys. You focus a little bit? Let me see if maybe fixing my light. I don't think that's gonna fix it very much. It's not going to focus, but I had these rings designed, or I designed them and I had them made very, very early, and so they showed up way earlier than I wanted them to, which means they're in my position. They're supposed to be shipped out at the end of the month, and I have not been working on them because I've been caught up with everything else. Today we're just gonna kind of be chilling out. I'm gonna be grading these rings and just kind of chatting with everybody. How is everybody in chat? I hope you guys are having a great day. Ugh. I hope you guys have been doing great. Ow. Tonight, I'm gonna see how many rings I can get through. So, forgive me if I, oh my god, I'm a little scuff coming back. I'm a little nervous. But I go through this like every single night. I've been grading these for a hot minute. I actually did do some of them, but now I'm actually sitting there going through all of the rings that I have not yet graded. So we'll see how that goes. Basically tonight, what I intend to do is to kind of scroll through these, kind of go through these, see which ones are A grade, which if you don't know what a grade is like the degree of how well they are between perfect and imperfect. And I do A and B grades for my shop, so if something is not perfect, it is not up to my standard, it becomes a B grade. Most of these are A grades, thankfully. But let's see. I need to get better at the whole introducing myself and saying hi to you guys. I used to be a lot better at it, but we'll see. How was everybody? I hope you guys have been having a good day. Hope that you guys have had lots of good food so far. If you guys have anything wild going on at school or work, home, what have you. But also, it's like fairly loud, right? Ah! Oh, jump scare! Oh, Gio! It startled me! That was so loud! was. I like mentally started not falling asleep, but I definitely started settling in and I was so thrown off. Leave it to me to scare you. Hello, how's it going, Jiwo? As I was saying, chat, when you own a shop, if you ever decide to, it is a lot of work. And so, if you make things, you'll always want to make sure that everything's perfect. You don't exactly want to buy something and find out that it was used or that it was broken, right? When you go to a store. It's kind of the same process. You're Gouda. Have you been playing lots of Final Fantasy VII, Jiwo? Has it been worth? Which, by the way, if anyone's played Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out this week, I hope you guys are enjoying it because I sure as hell am not going to be playing that. It's Yumi. Hello? Hello? Is it worth? You know, I'm actually not a big 7 fan. Like, I'm not beholden to the Final Fantasy franchise, but I also just, like, am not very interested in 7. I like Tifa, but I don't know if I could say that I really like anyone past that. You know what it is? I really liked the Advent Children movie. I think this is a script. Yes, this is a B grade. Like, I really liked the Advent Children movie, but I don't think like I would play the game. Or if I played the game when the Advent Children movie came out, I might have liked it a little bit more. But I don't really think no, I don't really think I would have liked it. Like, I don't know, I think part of it is like, I think I'm happy with my 1 or 2 games and call it a day. Like, I've just spent an atrocious amount on like The Sims. So I'm kind of like in the same energy when new shit comes out for The Sims or Final Fantasy 14. But outside of that, like, I wasn't particularly hype with Atlas, but I have a love-hate relationship with Atlas. And what else came out recently? Grand Blue Relink came out recently. And I know that I could play the game without playing Grand Blue, but I don't know. It just, the artwork seems gorgeous, but I think I'm more in love with the character artwork than I am the actual game, you know? How they make you spend a lot of money. Who makes you spend a lot of money, Duo? Atlas. How many times have you purchased a variant of Persona 5? Because I swear they really like milking the one franchise to death. I said it here, I dislike Atlas for the explicit reason that they're basically reusing P5 so fucking much. Like, just tell me you can't play. Just tell me that you refuse to make a new game in the meantime. So tired of it. I love it. It's like, you guys know that meme where it's like Kingdom Hearts? It's Kingdom Hearts, but it's like on its like 5th repackage. That's kind of what P5 feels like. I know the P5 girlies are gonna come after me, but like I said what I said, but they haven't even gone to. Oh my god, they usually do come out with an Arena Fighting game, huh? The thing is, there's like in so many collabs though, like do we really need one? Like, could they maybe focus on other games? Like, I'm glad that they came out with P3. I hope they don't milk P3 to death like they do P5, because that was a lot. A lot. Oh my god, is this? If they reloaded. What's reload? I think this is just... I think this is a... Like everything's okay with this one, right? Like a remake? There was like the P4 remake, isn't there? or whatever. Like, what would they need a remake for? Me, I'm a Catherine girl. I'm a Kathleen. I'm a Catherine girl. Like do what they do with P3. Oh, where like they completely remake the game ground up, basically. I am a Catherine girl. I'm a Catherine girly. I like me and my sheepmen. I like me and my I like me and my big titty demon girls, okay? I said what I said. Wonder if they'll do a Catherine too. I don't know, and I don't know if I could say that I would support a Catherine too, right? Like, it felt like such like a contained storyline that with all the endings that it had, I don't know if I could say that it would be a Catherine game without it being like it couldn't be Vincent and those two Catherines, and then they brought in Catherine. Play fuck with Catherine for Catherine. You know, if you guys want some Itsu Lyrica lore, you know I almost ended up naming myself Catherine instead of Itsu. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? No, could it be me? Could it be me, blonde with pink hair, wearing hot pink and black? Couldn't be me. Could it be me? Now I show a Jirokichi game. There'll be a whole series, a Jirokichi 2, a Jirokichi 2-1, a Jirokichi X2. the what's it called? The and like oh but like you know back in like the early PS2 or PS1 era, it would be like, you know, like Spyro and Year of the Dragon, Spyro, Ripto's Rage, you know, like just Spyro. Like you had like these cute little names. Like nowadays, I think it might just be me, but I'll see things like, oh, like so-and-so 2, so-and-so 3, right? It's like part of me is like, no, but it'd be like Jirokichi 1. The scare of the surprise, the scare of the surprise gift, or the surprise sub, or like, and then like Jirokichi 2, the high school AU, or some shit like that. I guess though it would be a little confusing if there were too many out in circulation, you know. 1.5, 1.8, like in 365 over 8 days or whatever. I don't play Kingdom Hearts enough to care anymore, and I loved that game to death. Oh, but yeah, like they would have like these random ass names, and then you would never know which one to play first. Oh, that'd be so funny, guys. If we, I don't know if anybody here is a long-term Starling, but what would our video game arcs be? You know, like what it would be for Itsu Lyrica and our Starlings? Like, what would the first game be? I think the first game would be Starling. If we had a video game, what would we call it? It's gotta have the word Starling in there. I feel like we would be a PS4 game. Itsu Starling Dreamlight. Oh, that's so cute! That's so cute. Like as the first game? Because that sounds like a title. But like a title in the game, you know? Like a title for your character. Oh, like a skin. Itsu Starling Dreamboats. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. That's so cute. You get to like the last game and it's like some really tragic backstory. Haha, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. I don't think there's anything wrong with these. right. If you, my starlings, were your own video game, what kind of video game would it be? And what would the titles in the series be? Like, for example, would you be like a Sega Dreamcast? Or would you be like a PS5 game? And like, what would that title be? I want to see if I can guess what it is from your title. Ooh. Can you imagine though? Like, I don't know if I would want to put anybody through having to play my life through a video game. I don't think that would be enough past an indie game IMO. Being completely real with you guys though, I think I would have no more than 2 games. And I think it would be like, first game would be like, I don't know, like the most obnoxious plot twists. Oh, could you imagine finding out the last boss was actually existence itself? Slowly looks over to every Final Fantasy game ever. Really do be like that? Ah! Oh! Whoa, Kiki! Hello! I hydrated, hello! It's been forever! It has. I've been good. How have you been? Actually, well, we're at it. Well, you're also answering me. Hey! I was asking chat if you were a video game, right? Like there's a video game about you. What kind of video game would it be? Like what system would it be for? And like if you have more than one game, what would the titles be? What if? Been good, just been very busy with school. Honestly, it do be like that though. Like, tis the season. Ooh, what game? Yeah, like if you were a game, like what would your titles be? Like would it be like, just trying to think. So like, where was the one? Jiro was like, my first game would be called Itsu, Starling Dreamlight. And then game number 2 would be like Starling Dreamboats. And kind of like the similar way where there's like, I feel like some kind of sim game for medical people, probably named Save a Life. Oh! You know what? I would believe it. I would believe that. Save a Life. That's actually pretty straightforward for a medical game. Yeah, the number one, the one school nightmare. It's like it sounds like a corpse party name. The school nightmare thing. Oh my god, that is what I'm going through right now. Oh no! Oh. Bro, tis the season. School is so brutal nowadays, I find. Like, I have people at work telling me how insane their assignments are, and it's like certain majors have it extra rough. Bro, I'm sorry. I hope it's worth it for you in the end. Yeah, what was it? I was chatting with an old coworker of mine, and like I was really lucky to have grown up and been raised and stay in my home country. Because I would be royally fucked if otherwise. And I work in a place where in one of the locations where like there is a lot of people who immigrated to or are studying in my city, right? And I live right by the school where almost everyone goes to work, right? And oh my god, the stories they tell me, I'm like, I could not be more blessed. And I feel for everybody that has to like basically uproot their lives to pay an exorbitant amount of money to be able to study overseas. It's wild. I'll say it's not too bad, just a lot of projects and clinicals is kicking my butt. So many of my athletes are going through injuries. Ooh, I'm too corporate to handle injuries. Oh. And that's like a athletes are like a high risk group, right? Because they go through it like every single day. Their entire livelihoods is basically their body, isn't it? Kind of in the same way that like massage therapists are sort of the same thing, because it's like you're moving. Like that's wild just thinking about that. And they're probably all training and stuff too for everything that's coming up in the summer, no? It's wild. Oh yeah, and their mentals are crazy at times because I'm handling student athletes and the amount of stress they go to. Oh my god, so like people who are in school and also doing sports, like that's wild. If I recall correctly, there are some schools where basically your presence at the school is entirely dependent on how much you can actually contribute to like their sports team versus like their academics and vice versa. College athletes are a different breed. They are, so I've heard. I don't think I've ever met anyone, and if I did, I probably would be not I would have not asked them about it, but yeah, because they gotta learn to balance their body and still balance like staying in school and shit. That's a lot. It's like basically boot camp, but you pay for boot camp. You pay like 10+K for boot camp. That's. I hope it's worth it at the end. I know a lot of them go into it because that's what they want to, but god, that's a lot. Ugh, why is it so cold? And depending on how they perform, the scholarships will either be a lot or very little. On top of that, some are only on the team to boost the academic score for the sport. What? The opposite, I'm just a small wee boy. That's insane. Like, imagine like being incredibly smart and someone's just like, hey, actually, you play sports really well. You're just the personality. You're the personality team member. Kind of like the personality hire for like an office. That's insane. Yeah. It's like you can't really choose to focus on one or the other. Like, you can definitely tell that some people are on that team because they're really, really great at it, but the school just wants to be able to say that that person left from that school because they just want to say that that person came from this school and present themselves as a sports school. That's insane. So that they can fulfill the graduation requirements. That's wild. I'm literally opposite. I'm just a small wee boy covered in a blanket eating ramen in a dark bedroom doing corporate butt. In the office I dress up, obviously. Only active I get is walking the dog on the regular. At least you active. Aww. Aww. It's wild because like corporate is a lot of emotional labor. Okay, like you're not running around an insane amount, but you do have to kind of like do a lot of mediating and stuff, and you do need to do a lot of like thinking which, you know, obviously, I guess you do that with any job, but it's like, it's a lot of like, you need to be able to work with different personalities, and it's a lot of like mental load that gets pushed onto you because people don't see that you're doing shit. So they'll just like casually slide on more and more onto your load because they're like, oh, mental health, what's that? Can't hear you over the sound of my keyboards clapping. Yeah, some of the athletes are there for the sport, but because of their academics, they can't or are very close to not participating. I don't love that for them. Like, I get it. It just seems so unfair to them because it's like, yes, like you're amazing at sports, but it's like you should be able to comfortably juggle stuff between people. That's frustrating. Gotta try, right? Only getting older, so how's kind of more thought about nowadays versus when we were in school. Yeah, you said it, emotional labor, like dealing with clients and patients. Just, oh my god. So I was at work today, right? Like on the topic of like being healthy, and I'm gonna like straight up admit that like I grew up not having access to a lot of food, and I also grew up not being taught how to cook and how to prepare certain foods. And like some places will give you like nutrition education. That was not a thing in my family. My family was, hey, you have food, we have enough to survive, you have enough to eat, and you're gonna eat it. Yeah. And that's just kind of the immigrant life, you know? Oh no, my ad break. I hate these. You know what? OBS used to not tell me when these ad breaks would happen. Kinda wish I had that screen set up so that we could play games in the background. I should really space them out. I should really have them like every hour. Oh yeah, those were fun when you had those up. They were easier to do when I was playing games, but like I think when I sit down and I play like a really long game that requires attention, like AI Insomnium Files was a perfect game for that. Because it was a puzzle game. Maybe I'll consider that. Like I don't think I'm gonna do that in the middle of like a hand camera where I'm like actively using both my hands to do stuff. You know? I should though. Exactly what my mother went though. She's the person to move to America. She had to learn everything. The rest of her family followed her after, and she had to teach them everything. Yeah, exactly. It's like that. And it's like, so sorry, as I was saying, so like admittedly my education about food was not the greatest, but like because my mom's a first generation immigrant, there were a lot of things that she could not teach me, and it isn't necessarily her fault. Okay, so like things like exercising, okay, because she grew up in like the Philippines, where you go and you can you walk everywhere. You want bread, you walk to the bread place. You want to go out, there's the beach right there. That's not accessible here. That's the kind of stuff is not really accessible nowadays. If I want to go work out, I don't feel particularly safe at the park. I don't want to pay like $60 to go use the gym. That seems kind of silly to me. But so like it's a really weird thing, because it's like I basically struggle with that, like being completely transparent with you guys. And part of it is like it was never really something that was a thing in my family, right? It was never really something that like we ever really had to worry about, like, you know, like working out and stuff. Like my family's all very, very small, and they all just were naturally thin. I kid you not. But so like I'm of the mindset, especially because I grew up not having a lot, when I finally did have money, it was, oh my gosh, I can afford food, like I can afford meat, right? And so when I started living alone, it was a lot of like learning how to cook and stuff. And I remember at some point I was so miserable because I was like, I literally work every single day to barely be able to afford food that I can barely cook. And it got to a point where I was just kind of like, I work every day to not even enjoy the food, like the money that I earned. And I think at some point I just stopped caring. And I was like, well, what's the point of making all the money just to not use it to kind of make things a little bit better for me? So admittedly, I went a little bit nuts about that, okay? And so like, I'm kind of with the mindset that like, as someone can live on like a particular diet in the Philippines, I can do the same. Our food choices are actually relatively more diverse here, but like it's easier to find different kinds of food. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna prioritize enjoying food because I had a really bad relationship with food, to like, you know, I'll just enjoy whatever I eat, you know, go nuts, because why not? Because if my family made it this far and not all of them are fine, I'm gonna be fine. Okay, is it a great mentality? No, probably not. But it's a very stark difference between working for food and then working for food to enjoy, you know what I mean? And I was at work today and I was like low-key kind of like listening into a conversation in the lunchroom, and it was like, there's this one dude at my work who works out like a mofo. All he does is work out, and he plays soccer like every other night, and the dude comes in and eats like Chick-fil-A like every single day, and I'm like, see, that makes sense. You can still enjoy foods like that as long as it's and like there's absolutely not moderating. This guy's going nuts because this guy has a lot of carbs and stuff to burn. Like, he's got a lot to burn, right? And then there was another girl chatting with him, and they were talking about like, you know, like I think one person was like, I would have a slice of pizza. I haven't had pizza in so long that I would literally die from one slice of pizza. And I was like, I don't want to say that that's necessarily a bad way to live, but I do think that having this relationship with food where there's good and bad foods is not great. To have healthy and junk foods, you know what I mean? Because it kind of gives like this connotation, like, you know, you can't have certain foods because it equals X, Y, and Z. Call me, hello. But it's so mean to me. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, I eat nothing but Korean food. I have eaten nothing but Korean food so much this fucking month. I've eaten so much like chicken over rice, and if I wanted tteokbokki, I'd have tteokbokki. I have tteokbokki in my freaking closet, pantry, like the rice cakes. If I want a bulgogi, I'll get bulgogi. If I wanted to, but it's like, you can have all these things in moderation. But to say that like, oh, like, you know, one food is cleaner than the other, to say that one food is, you know, junk versus the other, like, it just, you know, there's a thing about that too. Like, I used to only be able to afford, back in the day, it was cheaper. It was so much cheaper to meal prep and to buy quote unquote healthier foods, right? But there's a lot of barriers around that. Things like, you can only buy certain things in bulk. I used to buy strawberries and I would only eat like 2 or 3, and then the rest of them would just go bad. I would have to have somebody in the household to eat half of that, right? And like back in the day, McDonald's was expensive. fast food was insanely pricey. Comparative to how much you would get paid back in the day, it was still pretty pricey. But nowadays, the price of fast food is the same price as groceries. And I'm not talking like Whole Foods. I'm talking like, where I live, we have like a plethora of supermarkets. I think off the top of my head in the US, there's like Kroger. I think the South has Publix, from what I understand. And then there's like Aldi's and stuff. I think those are the ones that they have in the US. But like here, we've got like a ton. Oh my god, is that a scratch? Scratch. But like here, we kind of have like a billion to pick from compared to like the US. Where to go? This is a scratch. This is a scratch. And obviously like every supermarket fulfills a different niche, but the ones here are like, nah, they're just different price points. That's it. That's it. And like one would have like one assortment of things and the other would have another assortment of things. So we have the most popular one here. Oh, thank you. The more common like cheap ones here, I think, are like a place called No Frills. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It's like that shop brand where it's like everything's bright fucking yellow and then like Helvetica black, and it's things like canned corn or cream soup, but there's like no photo on it. It's just yellow. Oh my god, hang on, no, I gotta show you guys something. Let me go see if I can ask my roommate if they can bring me something. Let me you know what, let me go text my room. Let me go message my roommate. Let me go ask them if they can bring me something. I gotta show you this side. But the point is that No Frills is known as like being the place where like if you want to save money, you go to No Frills, okay? I think the equivalent is Aldi's in the US. I don't know if Buc-ee's is kind of the same thing. No, Buc-ee's is more of a road place, if I recall correctly. But it's kind of like an Aldi's, okay? Aldi's like not a Trader Joe's, but definitely closer to like an Aldi's. And it's like I would go and do groceries there, and I shit you not. So I live near one of them that's called Cooler Bag, the one from No Frills. The yellow one. It's closer, it's on the bottom shelf. But like, the cost of groceries, okay? For me to go across the street, used to be like 40 bucks could get me like an entire week and a half's worth of groceries. Bro, I can't do that no more. It lasts, everything that I buy lasts me like a night. Like, what is this? Thank you. Say hi, roommate.
Hi, roommate.
Why'd you make that face? Fucking weirdo. But wait, I don't know. I don't think people have ever actually seen that. They have this brand called No Name, okay? And this is their thing. This is their whole thing. They'll make like yellow things that say no name, okay? And it's like it's like the driest fucking humor. It's like yellow and it's like, this is what it is. It's a cooler bag to keep things cool. I have a beach towel that says towel for the beach. There's a chair that says chair but for sitting. I saw a no-name brand chair for sitting at a con once. Hello. Oh my god, I'm trying to read that. Siphon actual? Yes? I don't know if I could just I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. But yes, exactly. The chair for sitting. Precisely. I am on the hunt for thank you. I'm on the hunt for that. I'm on the hunt for that particular chair because it's just so funny to me. It's like, yeah, I know it's a chair. That's like anime dry comedy, you know what I mean? Like, I have a gift bag somewhere that says bag for holding gifts. I think I have wrapper that says wrapper. That says paper for wrapping gifts. It's just so silly. But going off on my whole tangent, the point is that like things are expensive and it's not always easy to eat healthy. And for the people that brought up the food triangle thing, it's like, you know, that's not always accessible to people. People can't always afford to have like an abundance of fruit and vegetables and milk. Staring at my $6 milk, like, I kid you not, my guys, like, I pay $6 Canadian for milk. It's insane. It's abso-freaking-lutely insane. That shit's gonna be like $3. And like, you go through it really quickly. But it's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that meme where there's like bags of Canadian milk. Those are certain provinces, and so I live in one of those provinces. But those milk bags are so freaking big, okay? So like, the milk bags, if I remember them correctly, were like this big, okay? It was like 6 inches across or something like that, or like, I think like 5 inches across, and like, it was like a 6 by 10, and it was just so fucking miserable to carry those things home. But also, like, if you were a family of 2 people, unless you drank a lot of milk or used a lot of milk, that was not gonna last you. Like, my mom drank a bunch of coffee, and at some point I was cooking nothing but pasta because I was obviously like in high school, so I had to have like boxed everything. And I went through enough milk, but it wasn't like enough to go through all that. But if you buy like a small carton of it, that's not enough either. It's wild. Like, shit's expensive, my dudes. And like, Canada has, because we're a smaller market for a lot of bigger companies, they'll pull out of our market. So it's like, there's not really a ton left for us, and any Canadian brands that are left love to bring up the price to justify it. It's so expensive. Oh, but my point is that there's no good or bad foods, guys. Whom's the fuck is this? I should be asking you, whom's the fuck is this, Gusto? Hello, 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 hello. How's it going? How are you doing? Yeah. Food's good. Food's always good. Food is food. Unless it kills you. Like, unless you have, like, don't have food you have allergies to for obvious reasons. But food is good. Food is very good. Give me a log. I think these are all the size 7 rain. Soupy grades. I have initially 56 of these. 54 size 7s. I don't know who I am. I wish I could eat food. Oh, can you not eat food? I could go off about food. I could go off about food for fucking ever. Like, I just like food. I like being able to eat. I am no longer struggling for money for food. You can eat some food. can't really handle carbs. You know, when you can't eat a lot of food, any food just is so good, isn't it? Or sugars or fats. So just like fruits and stuff, salads, like soups, and I guess you can eat meat. Ooh, you can eat meat. Protein's good. Protein is very, very good. Hey guys, have you ever tried a blended lasagna? Oh, sorry, no, a blended pizza, my bad. Chat, have you ever had a blended pizza? I promise you, it's hang on, don't blended pizza. I've never heard. I'm leaving, never returning report. No, chat. Don't knock it until you try it, okay? I shit you not. I shit you not. It's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing you can have, okay? I'm just throwing that out there. My beak craves. Guys. Okay, nah. When you're starving, a blended pizza sounds great. There was a period of time where I couldn't have solid foods because I was recovering from something. Blended lasagna, blended pizza. Well, time to hit the Dusty Chill. Have a good stream. Thank you. Thank you, Seven Actual. But like, no, for real though. Okay, hang on. I will say that like the blended pizza could probably have used a little bit, could have been better. But hang on. I will not. I'm not about to sit here and endure. Wow! Thank you. But no. We're not about to have. Threw me off. I'm not about to have some blended lasagna. Ahoy! I'm not about to have some blended lasagna slander in this chat. No. Don't knock it until you freaking tried it, okay? I'm not about to have this slander. Let me speak. Let me finish. All right. It's like basically, like marinara sauce, and you put a fuck ton of ricotta cheese in there, okay? So it's extra cheesy. You know what else goes on lasagna? Marinara sauce and ricotta cheese, and then you put the spices in there, okay? And I didn't really have to make any of the lasagna, but if I wanted to, I could have blended it. But my point is that it's just lasagna soup, but you drink it. I'm not taking this blended lasagna slander. It's just marinara sauce with ricotta cheese. It's nothing unusual. You guys, you gotta believe me. It's not awful. It's just a spread. You know what? If you guys make a lasagna, come back to me. Get back to me on that. I dare you to blend some. It's just drinking marinara sauce and cheese. Like, dudes, it's just soup. It's just soup that you drink. It's like the same thing as like people baking like garlic and like a bunch of vegetables and blending it and drinking it. It's the same thing. I think I needed some. I was supposed to put some milk or some water in that. Thank you. Wait, what kind of chaos? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I promise you, it's just marinara sauce and cheese and spice. Like, it's the same shit you put in spaghetti. I had that for like, I kid you not, about a month because I wasn't able to open my jaw for like a month or some shit like that. I had double jaw surgery, my guys, okay? I wasn't allowed to eat a lot. I wasn't allowed to eat a lot. I still have my like cookbook and I I need to know how you discovered this creation. I shit you not, my surgeon gave it to me. I went to a dental surgeon because they had to give me specific instructions on how to recover after my surgery, and they hand me this like 14-page printed cookbook. Okay, that's just like, you can't have any solid foods. You won't be able to open your mouth for a little bit. So you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna make we had to buy a blender, okay? And then there were like, you ate a lot of smoothies. You were supposed to eat a lot of smoothies. So it was like strawberry, banana, peanut. They wanted you to have a lot. Oi! Hello? They wanted you to have like a lot of peanut butter because protein, because you cannot blend meats. It's so meat to me. You couldn't blend a lot of meat. Ah! No, my table. But you could blend pretty much everything. Oh my god, you're so mean to me! But you could blend like fruits and stuff, and you could blend everything else. You could technically blend pasta. And so like when they were looking at the I think there was a page for like savory, I was looking down and one of them said blended lasagna, and I was like, okay, well let me try this, because I didn't really like all the other ones. Like a lot of the other ones had me like doing blueberry and raspberry, and I really don't like the taste of those. And yeah, no, I tried it. I was not gonna knock it because I really like cheese. And I really like the ricotta cheese. So it was definitely a lot of me having that. And then right under it said a blended pizza. And I was like, okay, no, blended pizza. And they're like, just make sure that it's a pizza that has some sort of juice, like margarita or Hawaiian. So I shit you not, I was so desperate for food. Cause like, after surgery, like you only really have the energy to eat like once or twice a day tops. I think for my first 3 days I only ate like once a day because I was just so tired. But I shit you not, by like day 7 I was like, we're gonna blend a pizza. Would I do it again? No, I can have food. But if I was desperate, I would blend the pizza. It was like, I would give it like maybe like a 4 out of 10. I would give the blended Hawaiian pizza a 4 out of 10. I think that's my limit. I think that's all I'd be willing to give it. But like the thing is, like I'm also not picky, so it's like you win some. so bad. I try to justify this, but I will not. I will absolutely advocate for that blended lasagna. That's some good shit. That was actually some good shit. I have never purchased so much ricotta cheese in my life. Oh. That was wild. But I'm glad you're able to eat food. You're able to eat some foods again, Gustav. Wow! Why? What did I do? Sitting here like very peacefully trying to do my job. You guys out here like throwing shit at me. Like, damn, what'd I do? I'm gonna miss a B grade if you guys keep bullying me. You know, at some point, I contemplated making a Gundam today, and I said, no, I should probably do work. This is what I've ended up doing. I was also contemplating making making some other stuff for Grand Blue soon. Nani Gundam. I haven't built. I think I bought an aerial rebuild like months ago and never touched it. Like low-key, guys, I stopped making as many model kits because I just grew so used to making them on stream that like the concept of me making a Gundam kit like for myself on free time is just weird. And I have space to put the Gundams around now too. It's kind of weird. So like I think I've just grown so used to building them on stream because I always made them with you guys. So it's like I'm more inclined to build my model kits when I'm with you guys. It's kind of like a Starling activity, you know? We just kind of hang out. The ring. I think it's just ink. But I still have an aerial. So mean to me. I still have an aerial rebuild I haven't touched. I have a Gunviola that I waited like a year for. And I still have like, I think something from Gundam Builders that I haven't touched yet that I should probably make. Yeah, I think there's just like something about like building with you guys. Like, you know what? Maybe I should change my stream concept to being the workshop in the stars, and we'll just be called the Starling Workshop. The Starling Workshop. Hold up, rebrands. We're gonna rebrand now. Is that what we're calling? You know what? Every single time I build something, I think we're gonna straight up call it the Starling Workshop. I shit you not, that actually sounds like fun. So cute. Oh my god, that's a great idea. Like, just do it. So mean to me. I should. I have space for my Gundams and stuff now too. Well, what about you guys? Do you guys build anything? Have you guys been building stuff lately? I haven't seen a lot of stuff come out recently, so I don't think this will be out too much. No, I have my eye on a Lego kit for Animal Crossing that's coming out that I really want to build. And then I also saw Dungeons and Dragons Lego set and I'm like, hold up. There's an Animal Crossing Lego. Yes, there is. There is? Why? Why? What did I do? I feel like personally attacked. Like, I feel like that was targeted. Yeah, there's an Animal Crossing Lego that just came out. And it's like a bunch of little kits. Oh my god, I don't know if I can go look up if I can get like a thing of that. I don't think I can comfortably open up a browser. Animal Crossing Lego looks so cute, right? Animal Crossing Lego. Let me see. Maybe I'll go to the Lego store on Tuesday and grab some. Yeah, so there's like a cliffside that you could make, like of the tent. Then there's Julian. I don't know if anybody knows who he is, but like the little blue unicorn that everyone was hyped over. There's like a little scene of his birthday party. There's like the beach, and you can get like little Captain and his little boat. There's Isabel's house with Isabel and someone else. I think it's Fauna. And then there's one that's Nook's Cranny, and it's Rosie's house. It really fucks me up. Can you come with? If you want to come with. You want to come with? A Lego store on Tuesday. But, yeah, I really wanted Nook's Cranny. I am, like, obsessed with Nook's Cranny, okay? Because, like, the look has been just so iconic. And I have like two Isabel figurines. And I'm really disappointed because it's like Nook's Cranny and Rosie's house. And Rosie's just some random villager. I was like, if it was like Nook's Cranny and like the museum, or like Nook's Cranny and like his nephews aren't even there. Or hang on, I think it is his, like, Tom Nook's not even in it. Like, what's the point? Like, if it's not even like Nick's Cranny and like the townhouse, it's just Nick's Cranny. It's a random person's house. Like, it's so silly. If you guys look at it, and then there's like Isabel's house, I guess. Well, like, no, I want Nick's Cranny. So now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with Isabel's house stuff. I'm really salted about it because it's like, I'm not gonna do anything with it. And then I'd have to find space for it. Can't spun many, need a processor. Ooh, processor's good. I mean, you know, if a processor is needed, a processor is needed. So it is. Honestly, I shouldn't be spending this money, but I opened a new credit card and I'm like, utilization. Haha. Huh! But there's the Animal Crossing set that just came out. No, I'm actually. Ooh. Ooh, hold up. There's a promo if you buy on the Lego website where if you buy it, you get like a free gift with purchase set. What's this? Is this? It's just some That's cute. There's like a tiny Animal Crossing one where like it's like maple, like a little bear who's planting pumpkins, which I guess is kind of cute. Let me see where they have them here where I live. What? None of the stores near me have these, so there's no... I can't even go in store to pick it up. That's frustrating. That's annoying. Wonder if I can... like, purchase these. Pick them up in store. Oh, apparently you can't. That's lame. Want to get the giant Lego Star Wars executive ship? You know, I don't know too much about Lego. Or about Star Wars. Let me take a look at that. I'm like seriously eyeing that D&D stuff that they were talking about. There's a medieval Times Square, hold up. See, my goal, chat, is I really like D&D. And so I really want to use Lego to turn things into maps for D&D so that when I have friends over, yes, I can use maps. Like map tiles, but I could also make specific buildings and walls and stuff after like out of like little strips. So mean to me. But like for real though, like using Lego as like a top down, like a TTRPG map like is actually not a terrible idea. Like I know people are starting to play like D&D with like their kids, and it's like, well, you can change things up a little bit. Let me see. Can I see what's coming up? want to see that medieval square thing. That's like kind of on my radar right now. Because I really, really want the D&D stuff. Really like seeing the Lego ideas. Ooh, what's this? The medieval town square. Oh, that is hurting. That would hurt my wallet. I just noticed the Times Square thing, or the medieval square thing, and that's looking to be like $200. I'll live. I'll live without it. I know, my roommate really wants the Rivendell, whatever it's called, one from Lord of the Rings, because she's a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I'm like, looking at the price range, like, yeah, I'm loving it. Yeah. I don't remember these being so expensive or so super pricey back in the day, but I guess such is the life of inflation. Oh. I'm noticing the Sonic the Hedgehog Lego is very, very silly. Because I'm seeing too much that's promising in particular. Damn. Like, I don't have to get the Animal Crossing one. I don't think You know what? It's gonna show up on like Facebook Market at like a discount. I don't think I'll press for it. Like I don't think I'm dying over it. And I'm definitely really salty about it. You know, I haven't made that other set of Lego flowers that I impulsively purchased. Maybe I should do that. There's a Lego chess kit! Stop! Oh my god, that's insane. I have a cousin who's like amazing at making Lego, and he loves playing chess, and this also doubles as a checkers board, and he would have been so great at that. What the hell? That would have been perfect for him for Christmas. 8-year-old, 10-year-old little cousin just like going ham on like a freaking Viking ship Lego. And I'm a little disappointed. Salted. I really want to see what the D&D stuff will look like. It looks very, very promising. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I did see a gelatinous cube and it looked really interesting. I need to stop buying kits. I need to stop buying things that I need to build, because what'll happen is I just won't build them. Looking over at my Gundam pile right now, like I can't let this let this get a little too big. I'm gonna have a backlog. I mean, I have a backlog of like 3. That's not really much of a backlog. Like, I didn't see a lot of kits that I liked. And thankfully the Gundam is one of those things where the price range can and will restrict me from buying it, because all the kits that I want are like freaking $200. $300, and I'm like, I can't be spending money recklessly like that. I have furniture to buy. I say that as I very recklessly spent an ungodly— hey, let me just make sure. check who's in chat here. I did spend an ungodly amount of money on merch for so on Grand Blue merch because I saw a character I thought he was attractive and I ended up ordering a bunch of merch stuff. I ended up ordering a bunch of merch from him of him from overseas, and then they announced a new version of him for Grand Blue Fantasy like 2 days ago, and like my roommate looks at me and she's like, you know, it's a good thing you bought all that Sandalphon merch because they just released a new version of him in Grand Blue Fantasy, and I'm like, yeah. His name's Sandalphon. He's like basically an angsty angel who really likes coffee, from what I understand. I know very little of him. I just thought he was cute and he had really pretty Valentine's Day art, and the thought process was, hey, you can get a standee of the pretty Valentine's Day art. And I was like, man, this shit's like $90 on eBay. People really be scalping from Japan, so I ended up doing a shopping service to go to Mercari and Suruguya and Yahoo Auctions, and I just bought a fuck ton of stuff. I ended up liking more than I thought I would. He's so pretty. And then there's his boyfriend. His boyfriend's name is Lucifer. And he's like the angel of light. He's very they're like lovers to, they're like boyfriends, not boyfriends. They're like enemies to lovers. I think it's lovers to enemies, something like that. I don't really know this whole story yet. I haven't really bothered to read into it. But it's wild. But like they just released him, I think, for Grand Blue Versus, from what I understand. And he just got a new version for the base for fantasy, and people have been going nuts. He's all over my Twitter feed. It's wild. But I definitely lucked out and got everything before people would have been buying stuff of him, so I suppose I'm lucky in that aspect. I just like pretty anime boys. I see pretty anime boy, I buy merch. And I moved into a new office, which is why I now have space to do hand cams. Cause I don't know if you guys remember, but I was doing that on my old table in my old room. Now it's like a dedicated streaming space here. Let me tell you about my next business adventure. What does that mean? What does that mean? This feels targeted. Tell me about your next business adventure. Honestly, chat, I was coming really close to not doing VTubing anymore and actually just going straight for streaming. Because the setup in my room is like fairly reasonably nice now compared to what it was before. So imagine these hot anime men. Now imagine how they smell. Okay, that's right, anime men candles. Okay, no, but for real though. So, by show of hands, chat, how many of you have played Baldur's Gate 3? And if you haven't, that's fine. So mean! So mean to me. Okay. So you know how like when people started realizing how freaking iconic Astarion was, some people were really into him and he basically blew up, right? So there's a clip, okay, of I think Shadowheart being like, man, you smell really nice, and Asterian's like, ah, like nothing that a little bit of, fuck, what was it? Hang on, let me pull it up. I have the exact scent on me. Ugh, I have to find it. But it's basically like, oh, like nothing's something that like a little bit of like bergamot, rosemary, and alcohol, brandy wouldn't do, wouldn't hurt, right? And like there's obviously a bunch of people that make cosmetics and fragrances and stuff, and so there was a search, there was a hunt for a fragrance that had bergamot, rosemary, and brandy, right? Because people wanted to smell like Astarion. And so when I was making, I happened to be one of those fragrance makers, right? Or fragrance makers, like one of those fragrance crafters. So I was also searching for that, and I think I ended up looking at one of, on like an off thing, I was looking at a new supplier for fragrances, and it was like a premium fragrance supplier that I like very rarely order from because it is so pricey to order from them. And lo and behold, bergamot, rosemary, and brandy like right in my face, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go make Astarion room sprays, because like why not? Let's see how this works out. Yeah, I was basically full-scale freaking production for like 2 months, just trying to get all that stuff out. It was wild. But like when I was making that, it wasn't like, there were some other people that were making, like I was seeing on Etsy, things like perfume oil, or I think I saw a couple candles. I think it was perfume oils, essential oil blends, diffusers. I was doing room sprays, but I had a body safe fragrance, so I was also doing bubble bath, and I was also doing body gels. But like that shit went. So like honestly, it's such a niche market because not too many people get fandom cosmetics here. Also, hi for the first time only. Ah, I hope it's worth. But like, most merch artists here will do a lot of resin if you're doing from scratch. And a lot of them will obviously do artwork, which is fine, totally great. And if you I hope it was worth your time. But like bigger companies, like the main companies that make merch, don't really make cosmetics, because that's a whole nother pain in the ass to make from scratch. Ugh. Trying to pick up my box. Oh, rings, this is heavy. But it is a lot, you know? My belly's handling it well. But, yeah, like, I don't think too many merch companies will go out of their way to make cosmetics, partially because, like, it's actually kind of annoying to source, but also just because it's, like, frustrating to have to go through all of those hoops just to be able to produce them comfortably. Hang on, I'm looking over in my Discord, and I have a friend thirsting over Belial from Grand Blue Fantasy in my chat, and he's supposedly, I'm quoting my roommate, Belial is known for being like the gay icon all the gays love him apparently. And somehow this is extra fucking funny. Seeing said gay friend going off in chat about that with me. I wasn't even trying to out you. I'm surprised you weren't excited over Lil Wayne. Calm down. This is just so fucking funny about that's the one that you come for me for. I was like, he didn't really seem like your type, and you're going off of my chat right now. But no, but for real though, like it's such a different experience and still like a practical way of like an everyday way you could participate in fandom, you know? Like there's keychains, but like I don't want to break a keychain, you know? Like, and some keychains are just so gorgeous, I would rather have them as like a decorative thing. And I'm not saying anything wrong with keychains, quite the contrary. I think that it's a gorgeous thing to make on its own, and I used to make them, so like I love when people wear them out. But like there's something about experiencing your fandom in different ways, you know? Like a maid cafe is usually like a lot of sound and then food, so taste. What about smell? Not too many people are gonna be like, yeah, this is what my favorite character smells like, right? But people will go nuts for that. Like the amount of people that were thirsting for Asterion. I'm not judging anybody that ordered anything, but there was a lot, to say the least. That's why. But it's an interesting way to experience stuff like that. And I think that part of it is like something, you know, when like you smell something that you haven't smelled for so long and it just brings back so many memories. Like it's one of those things where like you can attribute like a time you were really into this one game with something else, you know? Like for me, Asterion scent is forever ingrained with how much I love Baldur's Gate 3. I have a scent that's specifically tied to my memories of one of my characters in Final Fantasy. And I have one that's tied to my memories of Hesledeus. So it's kind of like a different way, and like if I lose like any of the merch I bought, I at least also have the smell, and so it just brings me back, you know? My Discord's going off with someone going off about how much they like the men in Grand Blue. Wow, that seems a little targeted. I'm just throwing that out there. Oh, I can't wait to show my roommate later. I'm not finding any B grades. What kind of, guys, when you buy merch, what kind of merch do you like buying? Like, do you like buying keychains, prints, other stuff? Like, I think apparel's another one of them. Cosmetics. Like, what kind of merch do you guys tend to lean towards? I know there are some people that exclusively will only buy merch that does not show that they're into an anime. Like, I think one of the people that I used to see when I sorry, ugh, I'm getting all over the place. One of my local artists was telling me she like really didn't want stuff that screamed like Final Fantasy 14, like stuff that's like everyday but like not particularly, you know, in your face about the Final Fantasy 14 stuff. And so her stuff, you wouldn't really be able to tell was Final Fantasy unless you like actually sat down and understood the context behind it. Like, she makes these gorgeous Alexander pins, and I'm like, I would know it was Alexander from the context of it, but like you wouldn't be able to tell. You'd just be like, oh, that's a really cute tower looking ass. No. I think it's like a wing and like a bunch of gears, and it's like, it just looks like cute steampunk. And I'm just like, no, like I want the context of that, which is great too, because when I'm decorating my Ita bag, I have one for, I have an Ita bag for Amaric from Final Fantasy 14, but like I've got a couple things that aren't like overtly Final Fantasy-esque. Like it'll fit like a mood board better than it will fit like a full display of Amaric. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's see, acrylic stands, accessories and keychains. Don't have much merch, that's fine. Keychains too, yeah. I love acrylic stands. It's just like super hard to find some that I like. Oh my god, guys, there's a thing that I picked up recently, and I will give it to the K-pop stands. They are amazing at producing merch, okay? So I stopped making like acrylic goods like way past, because I didn't want to be stuck with them. But I bought, and I know right now the big thing is photo cards and like having keychains of your photo cards and stuff. I got an acrylic stand, right? So it's like a stand. Let me do it this way. So it's like a stand, okay? So there's like a base, and it's got like butterfly wings, and like in the middle is like a little frame for like my Polaroid, or like I guess would have been like a photo card. So it's like a display for my photo card. I was gonna ask my roommate to bring it to me, but I think she's having a lot of fun right now, and I don't exactly want to yell into the other room for her to bring it to me. Light is so dark. Can you fix this? There we go. But part of my issue is I have too many keychains, so I just need something that's not keychains. No, I haven't gone to a con in a while. I should do that. Like, I was gonna table at a con in the summer, and I was like, not one didn't. Like, Final Fantasy Dawntrail is about to come out. So it's a little difficult to book time off when you don't know when the X-Pack is. But like, I haven't bought merch in so long. Ignore me talking about Grand Blue Fantasy from earlier. That's beside the point. Oh. Any plans for Anime North? I'm on the fence about that for multiple reasons. Like, Anime North used to be like, was like a big thing for me in the past, but I think at some point I got so tired of there being like the same dealers in the dealer's room, so I didn't particularly enjoy it after like year 5, and I would really only go for the artist alley, and I would cosplay. The last time I went was a very big group trip with my free company from 14. And I don't really want to go there and I think I'm worried that I'll go there and I'll be like, it's the same dealers, and just be completely turned off of Anime North. I was very heavily contemplating doing it because of the Anime North Idol thing. I like seriously thought about competing, but my cousin's one of the judges, and I felt that it would be very unfair of me to participate this year when I knew she was a judge, like it would kind of feel like nepotism, and I didn't really want to put either of us in that same position. So she's judging this year because she did win last year. And so I'm thinking, since she's not competing this year, due to her being on the panel, that I might just wait until next year and consider actually doing it. It was like a bunch of things. It was like I didn't want to miss Dawn Trail if it came out at the end of May. And it was like I didn't want to participate in the idol contest if like my cousin was gonna be there. I didn't want to put us in a weird position, and it was just like I don't think I'm ready to do that yet. Like I don't know. I don't want to ruin my image of Anime North, and it just being one of those like, oh yeah, I guess it's just gonna be the same thing. How about KupoCon's Palm East? I went to it last year. That was great. Okay. So I'm really salty. I really wanted to go. Okay. A bunch of friends. Okay. So I'm like in like a group chat with like a couple of other crafting friends. So like, I'm in a group chat with Eerie Craft. I'm gonna go by business names, but Eerie Craft, who originally started doing sprays. They do more perfume oils and stuff, and then their partner does resin, or their crafting partner does resin. Luminous, which I think is run by Gideon, and is it Resin Occasion? Let me go double check. But the point is, and Kuroneko, Resin Occasion, yeah. So I'm like in like a group chat with them. We were actually all looking at doing KupoCon, and I really wanted to go, and I was like, oh dang, it's gonna be like in December, and I can't really take time off in December. One, I was allowed to take time off in December. It was for one day. I was really salty because I would have taken the weekend off to go, right? But two, I think when we were talking about it, it was like, when you go to a con, okay, usually you get assigned a table. There was no table assignment from what we were told. There was no table assignment, so you just go there and you fucking run for your table. These tables are like $50, which is, you know, that's super cheap for a con, but like that can be really not great as a seller. And I wanted to go there as a vendor. Like, I know I would be just fine if I went there, okay? Like, I was basically getting ready to buy all of my displays and stuff, and then they were like, yeah, it was just a free-for-all. But it was like, you would do your free-for-all like an hour before the thing I think like an hour or two before the thing opened, and I'm like, bro, I'd be getting up at 6. I think what would have to happen is that if I did want to do KupoCon, I would have to book the hotel nearby, because I don't know if I would be willing to get up at 6 a.m. every morning to take the train downtown with like hundreds of dollars of merch in like a luggage with me for the one. I guess it's just one day. I guess it is just one day. Like it's but like I wanted to go otherwise. Like, I would love to go. I think that if KupoCon was like a thing again this year, I think I would have done it. I think there was also like, it was closer to the time when there was a little bit of stuff happening with like their leadership. I don't remember if that was around the time that like the Susan Calloway stuff was also happening. So it was like, oh no, I think it was like one of the organizers being like super rude in like their comments and something like that, and I was like really turned off by the way leadership was replying to things on Twitter, and I was like, I don't know. Canceled her almost last minute. Yeah, and like from her perspective, like I get it, because it's like on one hand, you know, she was definitely going off on some weird shit, and it was just like that's a lot to handle at once on both ends. I don't know. I think this year was just a little bit messy. I think that, like I said, like their social media manager probably shouldn't have been saying the things that they did, but I said what I said. I think I might do it next, or whenever they decide to do it in Toronto again. I'm leaning towards doing it again down the line. Because I really did want to go. I was really disappointed that I didn't end up going. Hoping that'll happen again this year. Yeah, I think it happened. I think their last one was like a few years ago. So let's see. Let's see if they do. I absolutely want to sign up and vendor there. I think it'd be a great opportunity to do it. Like. Let me see. You know what? I'm curious. Let me see. Let me see. What did I have here? I was really curious. But yeah, I think that like that's probably one of the things that I would actively vendor at. Once the list had a few friends that were interested, but the ticket prices held them back. The tickets were like 50, weren't they? They were like super cheap. But I can see why it would for a few people. I know I think for Shiva it was like 80 for like one day. Oh shit. Yeah. 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 I think I actually saw some mutuals of mine who did go and they were like, it was really disorganized. And I was like, yikes. There used to be, I shouldn't say used to be. If I recall correctly, there's like a group in like Ontario that would host meetups, and I really liked those. Like we used to, I know the last time I went, they hosted at a game bar called The Hive, like way back when. And the place has since closed, but it's like the person who hosts it will still kind of go out to like dinner with some people from like the community, which is very, very cute. And the last time they did have any events, it was like, well, you could vendor and stuff, and I was like basically ready to vend. I basically was like told like 2 weeks prior, and I was like, well, I can't take time off like within the 2 weeks, and it was during like a Black Friday weekend. I couldn't get off. So like I'm hoping now that like we're fully not going through a year of another lockdown, that it'll be much easier to have events and stuff to be hosted. Questlog was fun to do though. I didn't even know there was a questlog. I really want to see that kind of stuff though. Like I like that we have a lot of Final Fantasy going on in our town, in our city, and that like it would be really, really nice to see more things going forward. Like I wanted to see more of the 14 community and see what they were hosting. It's wild. Like there are opportunities, there also aren't. But there's I think my favorite thing too is people here will meet up, they'll get together, they'll watch the new trailers together, they'll get hyped together in person. Want to check out more smaller cons in the area this year? Yeah. I was contemplating going to Pretty Heroes and tabling there. I think I ended up opting against it because I hadn't only really ever been once, and I didn't want to like dedicate to something that I wasn't familiar with. I'm thinking, have you ever had a chance to go to the Anime North Halloween thing? It's great. I miss going to that. I think I might go to that. I think I might actually contemplate it. I know I have a cosplay in mind that I want to work on. That's just a matter of actually spending the time sourcing the costume. But there's like not really too many small, like super small ones. Like, there's what? I just dropped a ring. I just dropped her? I don't know. Like there's like what? There used to be like the March Comic-Con, and then there's like FanX. God, one of those tables at Fan Expo was so expensive when I was looking. Jeez. Toronto Game Extra coming up this month. See, I contemplated it, but I couldn't find like a ton of info on it. I know my cousin's competing in the one of the events there, but like I didn't see a ton on it. And I'm like, I could go. But I'm also like, I don't know. Like it seemed really small from what I understood. Like I'm also on the fence about that if I want to do it. I think what happened was I started going to cons in the US and I was like, yeah, we're missing out on a lot. I remember going to MomoCon once and I was like, man, I miss when we have Anime North, but we only have Anime North. I want to try, oh, you know what? I really want to try going to a Talkathon. And I really want to try going to Anirevo in, Vancouver, I think it is. Like, I really want to table at a con. He wants us to have Canada pictures from Katsu. Looked amazing. Oh my god, I really want to go to Katsu. I know what, there's YetiCon at Blue Mountain, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I really want to go to Katsu. I really want to go to MagFest. It always looks so great when people come out of MagFest. Like, at one point I used to want to go to Anime Expo and I was like, do I really want to do that? Because that really, at this point, just sounds like a hazard to go to. Booked for Yeti, Blue Mountain Resort for the venue, sweet. I've never been to Blue Mountain Resort. I kind of want to go to Yeti, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I could do, like, I don't know if I'm willing to do that. Especially since like my time off is so limited, and I'm like, I'm booking time off for Dawn Trail, so I don't want to use all my vacation days for cons if I can use it for Final Fantasy. I think that we should have more in Canada in general. Like, in the States, like every freaking state has their own anime convention, and there's like 5 in Toronto, but it's like Dawn Trail is hype. Wish we had an exact date. Exactly. I actually can't plan anything because I don't know when Dawn Trail is. Like, Pretty Heroes is so close to when I expect Dawn Trail to come out that I'm so scared the Anime North and that is gonna be out on the same day. No, my lights. I'm also of the mindset that there's a 0% that there is a chance that I might just opt to go to like a Hudson and Miku concert to cope with the fact that I can't go to Anime North. My lights just ran out and I just need to plug my stuff in. Are you going to cooperate with me? I need to move my... to turn on? Yes, you are. Oh, that is bright. Okay, so my light was running out. The thing I do like about Dawn Trail though is that because we are having a new expansion, the 14 community group will absolutely be looking at like doing an event where like you kind of get together and just celebrate it coming out. That happened with Shadowbringers where we just watched the second trailer and just perceived things and chatted. It was very nice. Very fond of it. I absolutely miss doing that. Can't wait for them to show off the class changes. Oh my god! This... I'm gonna see if my thing is... being weird. Like a B grade. Shouldn't be. But, thank you. Thank you. I'm only getting through the Rayan ones right now. I haven't even touched the Zayla, and I have, like, another... I felt like... I think I've got, like, 380 of each color that I've got to go through. Thankfully, it's not the first time I've done these, but... I'm definitely procrastinating, to say the least. Remember the tank buster rings not being as labor intensive because it was like I just could see if it was wrong or not just by looking at it. Also because it was only the one variant, but no, these ones are like I've got 2 colors, a billion sizes. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Part of it also, I think, with cons, though, is, like, I feel like I have to stay nearby. Like, it's such a hassle to bring all my stuff, and I almost always cosplay. Like, I don't think I've gone to a con in, like, normal clothing in such a long time, because I've got, like, such major FOMO. I don't think I found any B grades. So it's like... there's like the money for the cosplay, and then there's the money for the hotel, and then the transport, and all that other stuff. Like, I don't have a car, so it's like I feel like I have to stay. Obviously, if I had a car, I'd be able to just kind of travel out there, you know? But I think also I'm kind of at a point where I'm ready to go in as a vendor. Like, I don't think I'm like really enjoying the being there as a consumer anymore, or an attendee, I guess is the better word. But I also know how very pricey these things are. Like, guys, the table at AN for me was gonna cost me like $1,000 because I'm not allowed to go into the artist alley. It's so fucking frustrating. If I ever need free manual labor. I have free manual labor. My roommate's volunteered multiple times to help me with sales. I know who not to call. I'm glad you and I are on the same page here, Gusto. I'm glad we're on the same page. You can't apply for Artist Alley? Nope. Because my primary form of artwork is cosmetics. I apparently do not count as an artist. Which is, I understand why, but I also think it's bullshit because some of these require several hours of me layering things on purpose. Yeah, it's fucking annoying. So I can't apply for the Artist Alley. And so I'm only able to apply for the... there's one that's like the Artist Alley, and then there's the other one that's not the dealer's room, I think. But I'm not allowed in the Artist Alley because I don't make the art, quote unquote. It's kind of silly. But if I wanted to sell cosmetics, I've got to be in the dealer's room, and that dealer's room is fucking $1,000 for a table, and I'm like, bro, I do not make $1,000 to be able to table at AN. Sorry. Not my thing. Not my bag of beans, okay? Literally for $1,000, I could buy like every Final Fantasy thing I would have wanted so far. I ain't about that. It's weird though, beans. But like it is frustrating because it's like the way I do my soaps is I understand it. But it's also like some of these people make their own molds. Okay. And some people also like certain processes of soap, you have to layer things in such a way where you have to just pray that your final product will end up the way it is. I think part of it is because cosmetics in Canada need to be notified to the government. So it's actually got its own liability that most places will not let you sell cosmetics unless you've got like business insurance for it. And if it needs insurance, it means that it goes in the dealer's alley. Because most artist alleys are just independent artists who are making like keychains and stuff. And that's where it kind of sucks because I also don't like making prints. I also don't particularly enjoy drawing anymore. So it's like can't get a dealer an artist alley table, and it's like $500 for that table already. Like, and it's exhausting. Like just doing it. Like I was catching up with one of my friends. And she is a fairly sizable artist, and she was telling me that like she went freelance for a year just doing cons, and she was like the amount of times she was flying, she's overflying, she's over having to fly to the US and traveling and ordering shit. It was just so exhausting and draining. And she was like, yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go take a break because it was exhausting to just have to constantly keep up with it. And I get it. Like, I think that if I had to constantly be drawing and ordering merch, I'd be like exhausted from it. Like, I don't enjoy purchasing supplies for my cosmetic stuff if I can help it, because it's like, well, no, I could just make all the stuff with what I have now. B grade? Please be a grade. I didn't realize how wild the con merch life was. Con seller merch. Bruh. I didn't know how exhausting it would be being a merch seller, and I haven't even done the thing yet. But just hearing it from my friends and seeing it and seeing the prices is not it. Like I said, like I'm on the fence about Pretty Heroes, and I'm like, I don't know. I would honestly rather do Palm East if I can help it. Part of it is also like I do, and this is me, I really liked the cons that were actually out of the con season. Like, I remember a very long time ago, there was a con that lasted for 2 days, and it was in the middle of January, and it was at like a downtown hotel. Well, like it was at the end of January, and it was perfect because it was like, I can't go to a con in the summer because most places are having their call. Like, you're just fighting for the convention space at the time, right? But like the one in winter was like, well, if you're not doing a billion things in the summer, you could just go in the winter. I kind of wish they had more ones in like the fall and the spring, like off season, so that like people could go out and do stuff. Because it's like, you know, being able to go on a weekend to a con in like the middle of like April or like September or like October, I guess. Because there's nothing else happening at the time. It's yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll get into con stuff. I have all of my my table setups. I just needed con to go to. I do regret not going to Palm East. I think that is absolutely the first one I'm gonna do as soon as I'm ready. I would have to order all the stuff for sampling, but it should be fine. Like, I miss being at a con, but I don't miss attending it. I don't know if that makes sense. Can I save? I'll put this off to the side here. I know this is gonna sound really weird, but I actually wish I had more B grades, but this person did too- my supplier did too good of a job. Like, low-key, like B grades, I do still sell more A grades, but it's like my B grades were really helpful for people who didn't really want to dedicate to the A grade. You be having a time over there? Is it a good time or a bad time? Are you having a good time? It just reminded me I need to finish it. I need to finish Undertale. Maybe I'll finish going through these at some point. I have a feeling I'm not gonna have any issues with my Zayla rings. I'm just doing these as a courtesy. Are there any games that came out recently that you guys want to tell me about? Anyone here playing? Anyone here still going through Persona 3? And then there's Final Fantasy's Bendel Tale. I should really do that. Final Fantasy 7R. I had a couple co-workers come up to me, and then they found out that I really liked Final Fantasy, and they're like, hey, you know we got Final Fantasy 7R in today, and I was like, yeah, I just don't care for it. Well, there's that. What else came out? What else came out recently? It's just the Grand Blue. Grand Blue came out. It was wild. I met one of my coworkers within my company for the first time. We had like a thing we were doing yesterday. And have you guys ever had like that moment when you I don't know, have you guys ever had like a coworker who basically likes anime as much as you do, and when you guys realize that that person likes anime as much as you do, there's like a oh kind of moment? Because that happened to me yesterday. I was hanging out with my coworker, right? And we were just kind of chatting. And he pulled up, and I think he was like, oh yeah, what have you been doing lately? And I'm like, oh, I think the topic of playing on the PS5 came out because he games for like chilling and stuff like that. And like when I'm at work, I like explicitly make sure I come off as normie as much as possible. So I'm extremely quiet. Like, I don't have a presence. And so when people talk to me, I'll play it safe and I'll be like, oh yeah, let's go talk about, like, I don't know, like the weather. Or like things like movies and stuff, right? Like just like common stuff. Okay, fine, whatever. You know, just kind of pretend to be normie because I don't want people to peer into my personal life too much, right? But as soon as someone starts talking about games, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, I kind of spring up into action. And my coworker pulls up his PS5 on his phone, like, or he pulls up his records through like PSN stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been playing a bunch of Helldivers, and I'm like, oh, you know, like a bunch of people are playing that right now. And he's like, oh yeah, and I've also been playing a lot of Grand Blue, and I was like, Grand Blue? And I was asking if he was playing Fantasy or Fantasy Relink, and he said Relink, and I was like, it's just so wild, like, seeing people, like, you know, talk about Grand Blue casually, because I know it's not, like, a big thing here. And they're like, he's like, yeah, I play a lot of Relink, like, I played it so much, I basically built everything out, and I grinded, and I was like, how much do you play? And I was explaining, like, yeah, like, my coworker, sorry, my, I was explaining that, like, my roommate plays, like, Relink and stuff. He shows me his thing, he's, like, 152 hours on, like, Grand Blue Relink, and I'm like, game's been out for, like, a week or two. The game's been out for 2 weeks, my guy. But, like, it was so great because it was just we were meeting for the first time, right? And we just kind of looked at each other, and we were talking about like a bunch of like anime and stuff we like, and he's like, do you like JoJo? And I'm like, I like JoJo. I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I like it. And oh my god, it was so great because he was showing me like his tattoos and stuff, and he also really likes Demon Slayer, so he was showing me like his sleeve with like Demon Slayer and like JoJo's motifs on it. It was really sweet. Like, my old jobs, I didn't really have a lot of people that really had a ton of, like, gaming hobbies. Especially... I guess I can kind of come out about it now. I know I was really quiet about it in the meantime, but back before I worked where I work now, I worked in luxury and licensed lender. In my old job, when I worked luxury, it was a very catty environment, but also it was also very normie. Like, it was a lot of like people going, the kind of people who would like, you know, I've got a lot of money, so I'm gonna spend it on like clothing and going out. So like, you knew we're all like the nice restaurants, where you knew we're all like people were really into like sports and stuff. People were really into like, you know, luxury events, which like a lot of the times didn't often overlap with kinds of people who tended to game heavily. So it was like, the closest I got was maybe like one coworker who really liked GTA 5, right? And so he was like my GTA buddy. But like, there was nobody else that I knew there that like actively told me like, hey, I really like gaming. Like, everyone kind of had like an ego. Because everybody just wanted to make sales and stuff like that. And like, people were like more into like, you know, the fashion scene and all that stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, I just really like anime. It was really uncomfortable. But like, I go to my current workplace and it's like, I can have these conversations and people are just so chill about it, and they're like, oh, you like this? Like I remember sitting there when a coworker realized I played BG3, and he was just like, we were talking about like D&D and stuff, and it was just so sweet. Like, do I miss my old workplace? No, I miss my customers, but it was really nice. It's really nice getting to be in a place where like people will actually talk to you about your interests and stuff. You're not constantly surrounded by people who are like doing opposite otherwise. Like, that's really lonely, you know? I know my very, I guess not my very first job, but no. Is it my very first job? I remember my very first job. I was working as a cashier for a local fair, and I ended up experiencing the concept of having coworkers who really liked gaming, and that motherfucker I met at the fair years ago ended up being the fucker that got me into Final Fantasy XIV permanently. After doing a small trial with with my partner. Was it my first job? I'm like 90% sure that was my first job. It was okay, like yes and no. Like I did like a side thing where like I cleaned with like a friend, but I wouldn't really consider that like a major job per se. But like a dedicated job, yeah, that was my first job, because it was the summer before I got hired for like my like long-term part-time. And you didn't know that. Yeah, they were very generous to let me work that second year. I was actually prepared for them to tell me that I couldn't, but it was very sweet of them to let me. It was like they had too many people. You know what it is. It was a really fun time. That was probably one of the most fun years that I had working with other people. And I think I did a third year, and I was like so miserable by the time that came around. I was like, no. Kind of wish I had quit. I don't remember if I did a second and third year. But yeah. Now I'm just working forever. Self-employment means working forever. I seriously sat there and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to be able to sell my cosmetics full-time. No, I don't. I'm lazy. Do I really want to do that? No. Not on my watch. I think this is more than enough grading for tonight. I did quite a bit. I think I did quite a bit. Yeah. I think I got through all of these. Pretty much almost all of my Rain. As soon as I go through my Zaylas, I think that's gonna be a cakewalk. That was fun. It was fun hanging out with you guys and figuring out things and chatting about like cons and stuff like that. I think at some point I might do more of these hand cams, maybe when I'm like actually making stuff. I just needed somebody to hold me accountable for actually doing some ring work today, but now that I have done so, I think it is that time of night, that time of day, the time of whatever the fuck time it is for y'all. Whatever it is. I think that I should probably get some sleep because I do need to rest. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for stopping by. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that you guys have a good night, good morning, what have you. And I will see you again in the starry sky. Hopefully at some point, sometime soon, so I actually do my job. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.